What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Jack Harlow's third studio album, Jackman. A surprise release, just a day or so's notice, short run time, no features. Jack Harlow wasting no time, coming back with another record. Of course, after 2022's Come Home the Kids Miss You, featuring First Class, one of the biggest songs of last year. And now Jack comes back seemingly with still a chip on his shoulder, seemingly something still to prove, judged off the lyrics of some of the songs on here. And I would say that this is the best Jack Harlow album we've got so far. Not that that's necessarily saying a whole lot, because I think Jack Harlow is someone who clearly has gotten to the large status he now holds within hip hop and pop music, largely in spite of the strength of his catalog. Jack Harlow's last two albums are not good records. They're records with good moments, and some hits, of course. But the overall quality of the catalog has still been lacking from Jack. And you can tell that he's heard this before because he kind of gets into this on the album. But to his credit, I think the album starts off really, really strong with the first three songs: Common Ground, They Don't Love It, and Ambitious. And Common Ground is really something we haven't really heard Jack do so much, which is lyrically, honestly, be pretty self-reflective, self-aware, and speak on something important, which is, as a white man finding great success within a black space, hip-hop, of course, Jack is still using this time to be observant of things he sees, and I think it's pretty perceptive to speak on, large white crowds at hip-hop shows, being excited to say the N-word at the show, or adopting slang from hip hop, even though it's not from the lifestyle they are from. What's he say? The suburbs are filled with ebonics and trap sonics, frat boys saying no cap, put racks on it. Like, it's pretty perceptive. It's maybe an obvious observation, but it's really good to hear that coming from Jack, specifically for the obvious reasons. And honestly, the drums in the song sound good. Like, it's on, like, it goes hard and has a nice message. So I really like hearing that from Jack. Not that Jack hasn't come across as, thoughtful before, but this is also the guy who, he had some minor snafus in the past, like the Brandy thing. So I think it's good to hear this from him. They Don't Love It, I would say, is the best song on the album, track 2. Really high tempo, really awesome horns. The flow is really fast. I think it's awesome. I love the shout out to him and his Louisville guys, Bryce and Jack G. Of course, Bryson Tiller and ESTG and Jack Harlow really holding it down for Louisville as a unexpected pocket of hip hop these days. However, there is a off-putting extended few bars in They Don't Love It, which would be Jack basically saying that he is the hardest or the best white rapper since the one with the vomit on the sweater. Of course, saying he's better than Eminem. Saying you're the best white rapper since Eminem is basically a tried and true method thing that white rappers do, no matter how big or small they are. It's just a way you can boast. It's a common thing. And Jack's like really confident about saying it, and has that line about, like, whoever you're thinking in your head, no, I'm better than him. He works harder because they don't love it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, like, normally, like, it's fine to hear that, but in the case it's coming from Jack, who's super mainstream, he's made it. I don't know if I want to hear this from you, because let's be real. You're not the best white rapper since Eminem. The best white rapper since Eminem is obviously Mac Miller. And Mac Miller's catalog completely dwarfs Jack Harlow's, both in critical reception, quantity, genre variety. Jack Harlow doesn't have nearly the number of cosigns to the degree, especially from OGs, the way Mac did in his time. So it's like, yeah, talk your shit, but you saw it on Twitter. Like, Mac Miller was literally trending because how many people heard that song and were like, well, no, we're not going to let that one slide. So ultimately, it's like a, harmless boast per hip hop standards, but it's like, it is what it is, my guy. Ambitious, I like that one. I think the strings and that sound really good. Fun wordplay. My brother's gonna step Will Ferrell. I gotta say though, the line was it coming in my girl like I'm sterile? That's just a foul line, man. I don't care how charming you are. That one might cross the line for some people. He starts to slow it down from there. What is that? And in general, I really don't like Jack when he slows it down. It's not his thing. I like him when his flows are fast, his raps are hard. That's when he's at his most fun. Gang 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 is an interesting song. It's really a storytelling song, pretty short. Most of these songs are quite short. But Jack basically talking about, knowing someone or having friends that, in this case, like friends that, a friend that had rape charges and a friend that molested children, or, a friend or acquaintance, whatever it might be. And it's like taking like something really raw and real and putting your own personal spin on it. I don't know if he really like speaks too much about any of those like issues or what it's like to be in that spot, but it does come across as I think genuine, specific in terms of like that guttural reaction of like how do you feel when someone and have had great times with has done something heinous. It's I guess it's interesting and it's kind of self-reflective, like honesty, I suppose. But not a song I'd want to hear again. Obviously, I saw a lot of love for Denver. Too slow for me personally, and in general, I think the album starts to really fade out from here. Despite 10 songs, 24 minutes, it really fades out in the second half. But I still think it's his best overall. Just I think the highs on this album, Jackman, are better than the highs on his past work. It Can't Be, though, is probably the highlight in quotes that most people would have from the back half of this album. And man, I think that really does a lot to sully the goodwill you might have engendered with the lyrics on Common Ground. It Can't Be Jack Harlow on the chorus. The chorus of this song, the whole crux of this song is, it must be my skin. I can't think of any other reason I win. I can't think of an explanation. It can't be the years of work I put in. And he goes on and on about, the criticism that's been labeled at Jack Harlow, which is, in my opinion, very correct, that Jack Harlow is as big and famous as he is largely in spite of his musical output. That doesn't mean that all the things he brings up in this song aren't true. Of course, Jack Harlow worked hard. Of course, Jack Harlow is incredibly charming. People like him. There's plenty of things Jack Harlow has done to get himself to where he's at. It's not only because he's white that's where he's at. However, because he's white, he's been able to get away with some stuff because the records haven't been there to the degree they would need to be there to be at the level of A-list that Jack Harlow is at. That's just the truth of the matter with his music. And that's something he'll have to wrestle with. The fact that you have a song like this, though, which doesn't acknowledge that it's both things at once, but it completely absolves the fact that he's white and got to his status with some help from that. Very off-putting from the guy who made Common Ground, 7 songs earlier. It really left a bad taste in my mouth, just because it's a lack of self-awareness, honestly. So I found that pretty off-putting. Overall, though, it's a good record. Like I said, I think They Don't Love in particular is a really fun banger for me. I think just overall, like with the pen, Jack seemed to really be getting back into not really playing for radio with this. Of course, he's already found all that success and whatnot, so he doesn't necessarily have to. But hey, if you're gonna drift back into your creative bag by rapping on a lot of soul beats, I mean, there's worse things to do. So overall, I'm happy with Jackman, despite some of my criticisms. But how you feeling about this one compared to his last albums? We got a lot of Jack Harlow the past few years. How you feeling about this one? And for more hip hop reviews, more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.